Hey everybody, it's just me again, Wayne. What I have for you today is an interview with the Iron Vegan, Old Man Muscle, as he refers to himself. Of course, I'm talking about Steve Greene. Steve Greene's YouTube channel, The Iron Vegan, has over 150 videos on it, and Steve talks about a wide range of topics that all connect in some way to bodybuilding and especially strength training for longevity and health. And a lot of our conversation, what you're about to see, revolves around the changes that Steve has seen in the fitness industry, the bodybuilding industry, and in bodybuilding and fitness as something that you and I, regular folks, can do. Steve's been bodybuilding since 1968. Steve knew and interacted with a lot of the greats of the era of the 60s and the 70s when bodybuilding was just really coming into public prominence. Bill Pearl was his mentor. Frank Zane, he knew. Various other guys. Here's a picture, in fact, of Steve with Frank Zane. Here's a couple pictures of Steve competing in the late 70s. And this is an interesting one. This is not a picture of Steve with Arnold, but it's a picture of Steve doing an Arnold pose right beside an Arnold picture. Not bad. Not bad at all. All right, I hope you like this. Go check out Steve's YouTube channel. Steve Greene, Old Man Muscle, The Iron Vegan. Here we go. Well, it's good to talk to you, and you look just like you do on TV, I have to say, just like you do on YouTube.
Just as handsome, huh?
Absolutely, absolutely. So the world been treating you okay in these crazy times?
Oh yeah, I've actually gotten more into my weight training since last spring than ever, because you're kind of stuck in the house and you're not out doing things, and so I've kind of doubled down on my bodybuilding here at the gym, and actually it's been a good thing as far as that's concerned. And I spent more time studying now how to hit the muscles, how to be more effective, and it's all paying off, really.
Okay, great.
When the world is normal, you get so busy in it that
Yeah.
weight training starts taking a back seat. And so now weight training is taking a front seat again, where actually it always used to be, so yeah, it's good.
Okay, great. Well, it's good to hear. And it seems that it's either went more that way, right? Or the other. Folks' gyms have closed down and they don't have equipment at home, and so they're like, oh, what do I do? And that's why God invented push-ups, right? But yeah, it's it doesn't seem like anybody's training regimen has stayed the same.
Yeah, the people that go to commercial gyms still, I haven't been to a commercial gym now on a regular basis for over 4 years, and the people that are still relying on commercial gyms for training, I don't really know what they're doing, unless they just have a few things at home. So it's got to be rough for the guys that are still going to the gyms, because I see some in videos wearing masks in the gym.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see any way that I could train the way I train and have a mask on my face, just breathing my own circulated dirty air. I feel like I was suffocating.
Well, it's a process of experimentation. My gym here, I use the local community center. The city requirement, right, is that everybody wear masks when you're in there and training and so forth.
Yeah.
And of course, most people just don't. But yeah, I found that those thin sort of surgical masks work the best. Not the specialized ones, but just the ones that you can buy in a pack of 100 for $10, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've tried using cloth masks, and yeah, air gets pretty hard to come by that way. So you've been doing this for a while. You've been at this game, for your entire adult life, it seems.
Started in 1968 at age 17. Got tired of being bullied in high school by Bob Fredericks, and I said, enough of that. Magazines back in those days, there's a guy in the back who called himself Charles Atlas.
Oh, yeah.
Showed him there, and I don't even know if you see those ads anymore. And don't let the bully kick sand in your face. I looked at that. I thought about my situation in high school. I said, no more. So that's when I started on a course to take care of that.
Yeah, I remember those ads. I do. and they had the title something like "The Insult That Made a Man Out of Mac
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
So just looking at the ad, the message that I got was, all right, well, if you break things in your room, you'll get stronger, because it showed that picture of the kid who just so upset at being bullied, and he's kicking over a chair, and he's
That's
using
right.
his
The kid.
magazine. Yeah,
You remember the ad? The kid was kicking over a chair. I'm
yeah.
sure you could probably find it online somewhere.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's around. I'm sure it's around.
That would be a
Um,
good graphic. Actually, that would be a good talk. I think I need to get that graphic off. And,
there you
talk
go. I look forward to watching that one. So, well, I wanted to ask you then. I mean, so like the late 60s, early 70s into the mid 70s, right? That is when that period seems to be when bodybuilding, came out of the shadows, as it were, when it really came to public awareness, and then especially with the release of Pumping Iron in 75, and things just kind of snowballed from there. Now, there have been so many changes in the industry.
Oh yeah.
In fact, it's become an industry. I mean, just
Yes.
actually bodybuilding seems to be just like the tiny little heart of a huge industry that is dedicated to selling magazines and supplements, and so forth. But you touched on this earlier in the discussion. What changes would you like to comment on, or do you think that you'd like to describe that you've seen in how the culture responds to bodybuilding and strength training, since that period when it first started to kind of come of age, as it were?
Well, the 1970s, for most of that decade, I trained with Bill Pearl at his Pasadena Health Club, and people still thought bodybuilders were just a bunch of vain, kook, fringe people. I mean, it was starting to come out. Arnold did the Pumping Iron thing, of course I watched that. I have the book Pumping Iron, one of the original books. I have it, and but it still wasn't out yet. Then in the 80s, when I had my gym, it still actually wasn't out. The idea of a personal trainers were starting to come in vogue in the 80s, and I watched that, as a gym. That would be a good thing to follow. I mean, to have gotten into. Like back in the 70s, I learned everything from two sources, either from the magazines. I subscribed to Iron Man. Harry and Mabel Rader put that one out. Strength and Health, or Muscular Development. Muscular Development was edited by John Grimmett, a great of the before me, and so I got my information either from there or from the guys at Pearl's Gym. Now, I happen to be very lucky. A buddy of mine from high school said, hey, you ought to go down to this gym and check it out. It's better than the YMCA I was training at when I first started. And so I went down there, met Bill. Bill wrote me out a routine in late 1970. And so I got advice from the top guys, but it was a fringe thing. There were no corporate gyms or anything like that. They just didn't exist. Then the 80s, they started to transition. And, I don't know when the big corporate thing started, but it's totally different. Like when I had my gym, I would help people train and teach them what to do. As the owner, I figured if they paid me to join my gym, I'm going to help them.
Sure.
It was the same thing with Bill Pearl. Nowadays, when you go into a gym, you don't get any help unless you want to spend $50 to $100 an hour for a personal trainer. That's extra. That's above and beyond. I think overall for the average public, it's a good thing. But yes, the days of the personal help and learning from the person that owned the gym or masters like Bill Pearl, the guys I trained with, those days are gone. And like, I put up a video recently about some footage I took in Bill Pearl's gym when I was studying cinematography and photography at Art Center.
I saw that.
That's all I had. I took that with a little 8mm Bell and Howell camera of my dad's, and now I can make videos and things that are superior in a fraction of the time. But nobody had cameras in Pearl's gym. I mean, if I had today's technology, Guys, everybody would know everything about that gym. So yeah, there's a huge transition. I don't know. I've been out of the gym now for about a little over 4 years, but I don't get the feeling now that owners of gyms come around and say, if you do this just a little bit more at this angle, you'll get a lot more benefit and you won't hurt your shoulders or whatever. I don't think that happens anymore.
My impression is that that doesn't happen very often. Now, having said that, I've only been to a handful of gyms, so perhaps every gym that I haven't been to, that still happens in. I don't know, but yeah, the ones that I've been to, no, that doesn't happen. Although you're right, when you first walk into a gym, especially if it's a member of a larger chain, folks are very keen to sell you on lessons that will only cost you an additional,
Yeah,
$29.99 a week,
yeah.
and yeah, it's an experience.
Well,
Um,
anytime something becomes a corporate entity, then it's no longer an individual thing. Like Bill Pearl owned the gym,
mm,
Vince Gironda owned the gym. These different people own their gyms. Jim Morris, or I own my gym, and it was a personal thing. When people came in, they paid you the money. You were happy to have them there, and you worked with them, and you didn't charge them a penny for working with them once they paid their fee.
it just considered to be part of the service, part of
Part of the family.
what they
Once you're
paid for.
part of the
Yeah,
family,
right.
yeah, you pay
Okay.
your entry fee and you're on the ride.
Okay.
There's no
Well,
more hidden charges.
wouldn't it be nice if that were true every time someone says that now? No hidden fees. Oh, yes, there are.
Yeah, things have
So
changed. Yeah.
there you have it. Part one of my talk with Old Man Muscle, the Iron Vegan, Steve Greene. And yes, I'm holding my cats because she won't shut up unless I do this. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And by all means, go and check out Steve's channel, the Iron Vegan. A lot of great stuff on there. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Come back for part two of this discussion. Talk to you soon.